You guys good? All right. So I'm going to first do this class on. We're gonna do term insurance first. Term return of premium term. Okay. For you guys to keep in your notes for the morning. So I'm going to do return of premium. Then I'm going to go into a whole life on a 0-year-old. So a baby. How you see that a lot from a lot of different companies here in the area. So this was a life policy I broke down with one of the guys who's training here in the office. And we were out there, and his parents actually had both return of premium policies. And a lot of times, the client still doesn't understand 100% of what you're going over, but the important part is to make them understand it as well as possible. So I've just decided, Ray, I'm using a blue pen. If you can go into my office and get me a black pen, you're going to be able to see a little better on the camera. So we're going to go over this. So we've got this policy was a local company, Country Insurance and Financial Services, which is, they do, a fair amount of stuff that I run into around here. So it says right on the front, renewable and convertible term insurance, right? So it's really nice. They put convertibility right in the name, which we'll go over. But so I came into it, face amount's $250,000, originally purchased on a 35-year-old female. She qualified for it was a 20-year preferred plus non-tobacco. Okay, so pretty straightforward, right? 20-year term insurance. Okay, so the return of premium benefit would be $8,200 on the backside. Okay, so to kind of get some of these numbers rolling, make sense. Okay, so we got a 35-year-old female preferred plus. Okay. $250,000 policy. Oops, I don't know why I made a 3. $250,000 policy, 20-year term with return of premium. The return of premium benefit at the end would be $8,200, which is going to get back. Okay. So the amount here. A lot of times you'll see a breakdown, guys. So the amount here is the basic, but you'll see basic, and then policy fee, and then rider, okay? So I'll end up erasing this, but you see, so the basic, we all know what a policy fee is. We got one right. Ours is $75. So this one's $80. The basic cost of insurance is $117.50. And the rider literally costs almost twice what the normal insurance is. Does that make sense? The cost of insurance is $117 a month to buy $250,000. The rider is $212. The right to get your money back costs more than the insurance itself. That's crazy, right? So we'll get into that, okay? All right, so flipped into the page here. Now, policy, you flip second page, third page. Okay, this is page 2. Face amount $250,000. Age 35 to 54. Say the original 20 years. We got one price of $197 monthly, and then kind of goes down the length here. Okay, so then it goes to at age 55. It goes from this policy fee plus basic fee amount and everything of $197.50. On the 20th year, the price goes to $2,992. That's a little bit of a jump. $197 to almost $3,000. Is that more? Like, is that an uncomfortable amount more? Like, that's a lot more, right? Like, when somebody give me a figure that out on a calculator. Once you divide that, divide 2,992 divided by 197. Find out how many times more that is. Okay. So you're going to see how you get this huge multiple. Okay, and then it goes to annual renewable term, which is why in the year 55, the next year it goes to 3,300. The next year it goes to 3,600. So on and so forth. Okay, which is why in the front it says it's convertibility. So they have a convertible clause to get out of this and into something else, right? So if I go to that, if we look into the policy, okay, all you gotta do is flip in a couple of pages, and you'll see all these general provisions, that sort of thing. Look for the bold statements at the top first. Okay, settlement options and things. And then here you go. Conversion privilege. Would that have something to do probably with the conversion? Right? Like, it's the conversion privilege. Go there. Okay? So in here, this company states it really great for us. This policy can be surrendered at any time. This policy may be surrendered to the new company in exchange for a new level premium whole life insurance policy of an equal or lesser face amount. So what did it just say? You have to switch to whole life, right? Everybody got that? Okay. So then you can go down, there's more wording, blah, 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 but it all says the same thing. You got to change this. The only way to convert is to convert to whole life. Okay. So what does that mean? You're allowed to convert from something that was how many times more expensive? 15 times more expensive to something that at that time, whole life is probably 30 to 40 times more expensive. Wow, that's a great option. Thanks for adding that in, to my mind. If that's 15 times, then whole life at that time is going to be double the cost of term insurance, okay? At least. A lot of times, 3, 4, 5 times more expensive, okay, than the term insurance program. Remember what it says? It's of equal or lesser value. So if you had a $250,000 policy that's now 30 times the price, what are they going to have to do? Take a lesser value. They're just going to have to take a much smaller death benefit. So instead of probably having like 250 grand, they're probably going to end up dropping that thing down to like $25,000 death benefit in order to still afford whatever premium it's going to convert out to. Got it? So there's two options in this contract. I take the annual renewable term insurance price of $2,992 in the first year, $3,300 in the next year, $3,600 in the next year. Option A. Or option B, convert to a whole life, in which case I'm going to have to decimate my face amount down to a ridiculously low number, right, in order to keep some sort of a policy in force. All right? Now, should they necessarily be in a position at that age to would need so much life insurance? No, that goes fundamentally against what we really preach here, okay? They should, based on the theory of decreasing responsibility, be in a place where they don't need as much. So I can kind of see where you could argue that that would be a good thing, but they're not going to be in a place where they necessarily need only $25,000, and they're not allowed to keep term insurance. You're not allowed to keep term insurance and lower the face amount. Nowhere does it say you're allowed to keep this and lower from $250 to $100 and keep term insurance. You can't do that. You have to convert, in this company in particular, it says very clearly, to a whole life. Not even a universal, nothing else even eligible. Whole life only. Okay? So that's the conversion privilege part that I really want to get out. Okay? But I really want to talk about this program and how it relates to the return of premium, okay? Which is what people are really basically sold on, right? They're basically sold on the idea of getting money back as the idea of why it's a great contract. Everybody kind of following? So, it feels weird when I say that, like nobody says anything because you're on video. So the idea is how much they're going to get back at the end of 20 years? This amount. Now, if I go back to the second page, the cost of the basic amount of insurance is $197, right? $197 annually. What's it? Quarter annual, $410, right? So it's per year $197.50 for the 250 grand. Okay. The return of premium rider is $212.50, equaling a total of $410 annual premium. Okay, so need a calculator here. All right, just get me into your phone. So, all right. $197.50 per year, right? Times how many years of the term? 20 years. You guys can answer if I say stuff like that. So total cost of ownership is $3,950, correct? The return of premium rider cost $212. So let's just do them all kind of separately so you can kind of see how this breaks down. $212 over 20 years, that comes out to $4,250, right? Total cost $4,250 plus the $3,950 is, look familiar? That's the return of premium amount. Got it? Okay. That's what it costs to own this. Now, go into a quote here. I pulled up a 35-year-old preferred plus term now, or I'm sorry, custom advantage. 250 grand, same. Okay? Let me pull up the annual so we can do like a little bit of an analysis here. Okay? Now, other company, okay? Hopefully you can see this on the camera. Help me out, Leo, to make sure this fits. So this is us down here, okay? So it's $235 a year. Can you see that? Mm-hmm. So that's $235 a year proposed plan. Okay, so I'll just write proposed. So this is like them, us, okay? Now, our plan is what? $38 a year more. Okay? So as a comparative pricing, what's 38 divided by 12? It's like, oh, it's a couple of bucks, right? It's $3 a month more, for our plan, okay? Does $3 matter when it comes to cost? No. Like, nobody cares about $3 for any, it's nothing, okay? Many times you'll do this, you'll be less. You'll be $3 to $5 less. This is why I always tell people, our insurance isn't like some magical, they're all based on mortality tables, right? Mortality tables are all based on your demographics of who you tend to sell to and that sort of stuff. So we're all companies are pretty much really close to each other in cost, because it doesn't matter if who they bought from, people still have the same level of dying per 1,000 people as anybody else, right? So so that's kind of where prices are dictated from. That's why costs are so similar company to company. So whenever you hear somebody say, well, your insurance is much more expensive, you're wrong. You're dead wrong. Most time we're cheaper than 98% of companies. So what we're looking at here is $235, right? So to get back to this, straight insurance, $250, 20 year, same. Okay? Now, I'm going to cut in though, because we have a convertibility clause basically in the backside of our contract, but the conversion isn't from a conversion from term insurance to whole life, like in this case, right? They have to change to something that's going to be 15 to 30 times the cost. What we'll allow them to do is go to decreasing term insurance and keep a high face value. Yeah, they can keep the same premium, and they may drop from 250 grand to who knows? I make up a number. I have no idea because I don't have a chart in front of me for them. But let's say they drop to 100 grand, okay, for the same cost, okay? Is 100 grand more than the 25 grand they're going to get through the whole life contract? Yeah, 4 times more. So by keeping term insurance, they're going to be able, no matter what basically it goes down to, it's not going to be within a realm of whole life costs, because it's still, your premium dollar is still buying only pure protection. So it's still going to buy you a lot more cost per thousand, okay, and get you further. Okay, so this 20-year term is $235, which makes a difference of how much money. So old premium is $410 a year, right? Minus $235. We have $175 to buy real term insurance and invest the difference. So what can we do? And invest, okay, why it's so important, why we believe in this shop to have a securities license, because you can't do the full job for somebody unless you have that license, okay? So $175 monthly, okay, that we can dollar cost average, or I'm sorry, annually. Woo, you guys need to help me out here, I'm going fast. So $175 a year, right, which we can divide by 12, because they were paying on a monthly, this is all listed annually, but they were paying on a monthly basis, okay? You could dollar cost average it monthly. You could do it on a monthly basis. Ray, can't, since I'm using your phone, I can't get in. It's a pain in the butt. I should have used, all the fingerprints. Okay, so if I go to an investment calculator, real quick here, you can go to their savings for retirement and stuff. You guys know there's kind of we got those calculators and stuff in here, right? Financial calculator, go. All right, so let's just put in a 9% rate of return, okay, for how many years? 20 years, okay. We're going to save, I never use this calculator on the Primerica app, so I'm like trying to figure this out. $175 per year. Ending balance is $10,221 if they bought straight real term insurance. So, did they get a return of premium? Yes. What they get here is they have, at the end of their term, unlike in the top scenario, in the top, and up here, what happens? Yeah, I get $8,200 back, but at the end of my term, I got nothing, right? Like I basically have to just get rid of my contract because I have nowhere to go with it, okay? So you're giving me $8,200 back, but now if I still need insurance, it's toast. Or even if I get back to it, I have $2,000 less than if I would have simply just bought regular insurance, got no money back, and invested the difference. The argument about 9% is only made by morons anyways, because like the S&P 500 has averaged over 10% in any decade breakdown you can go back on, let alone if you dollar cost average that over years, okay? Like annual amounts or monthly investing makes it even more, okay? Even in the last decade, you still made a great rate of return if you were dollar cost averaging, okay, which was 2000 to 2010, okay? They act like nobody made any money. You didn't make any money if you had money parked, but if you were investing on a monthly or annual basis, you absolutely made money during that period of time, okay? So what we're looking at here is only $175 ever invested, and they would have that, right? But people don't invest here. They don't have an option to invest. This is a joke. This is acting like we're going to give you back what you paid in, but really we're not going to give you back. I mean, we're just going to give you back what you paid in, but they're going to invest all this additional cost themselves over all those years. I'm using a very nominal rate of return at 9%, and they would have 10.2. It's a big difference, right? How hard is that to show somebody, look, they're keeping, let's just say they only made the same rate of return. They're keeping $2,000 of your money when you don't die, and they're putting your insurance in a position at the end of the contract where you can't keep it. So it's like a lose-lose, right? They're keeping $2,000 and they're forcing you out of your contract. We're going to allow you to go to decreasing term, do whatever you want with this contract or end it, right? And you've got all this, you've got this $10,000. What's going to happen to this 8,200? Here's the part nobody ever talks about because they're always doing the math. What happens to 8,200 at 54 or whatever 55 when she gets this money? What is she going to do with this guaranteed at age 55? She is going to spend it because that's what Americans do, okay? She's going to blow it because did they have a financial advisor or an investment person before we came over?
No.
No. So Where do they have? Where's the average person have investments? Let's be honest. A 401k, and that's it. They don't have. Rarely do they have IRAs. I mean, it's so rare. The industry acts like everybody does. It's hilarious. They don't meet real people or something. I don't know who they're talking to. But $8,200, what are they going to do? They're just going to blow it, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show them how the big element to not forget is that if down the road they've got 10 grand sitting in that account, what's it going to become in another 10 years, another 10 years, what is that going to be in 20, 30 years when they simply keep investing, or we start investing again when the term insurance is over, right? So, like, let's play that game, and then I'll kind of finish my, beating this horse here. If at the end of the 20-year term, okay, so at the end of term, age 55, I've got $10,200 in an account, but now I have how much to invest in an annual basis? $410. Let's say they got rid of the insurance. They just didn't really need it anymore. It's just like getting debt-free and investing the difference once you get out of debt. If you pay off your term insurance, you don't need it anymore. Okay, let's say they're 55, empty nester, kids are gone. And for the next 55 to 65, 65 to 70, let's say they invest till 70. Okay, they work till 70. So that's an additional 15 years, right? So that's 15 years of $410 a year. That ends up going to $52,700. If they were here, it'd be gone. They would have spent it. Even if you would argue that they would have invested it, the question is, who would they have invested it with? How, what, where? That's like saying like something could happen. Like, I don't know, like a rainbow could appear tomorrow. Like a unicorn could fly into my house. Like, I don't know, like something could always, I guess, happen. Like, I want to work on things this is math. I want to work on things that actually are predictable, right? Like market returns are predictable. They've been doing this for a very, very long time, okay? Investing, dollar cost, predictable. Math, what am I going to do down the road when I don't know who to call? When I call somebody who only does insurance at another firm, who doesn't really believe in investing, they have an investments license so they can sell me a variable universal life contract. They don't really believe actually in investing. They just hold a license so they can sell me a more expensive insurance contract. Everybody got that? So really, it's not the 10 grand. You got to look at what we're really doing from the long tail, the long play. It's like 50 grand if they do it right. Got it? Yep. So what I'm going to do is go over I'm going to go over a zero for a baby. Ran into a Ray and Betty when I was training them. This board is not erasing. Holy moly. We ran into where they had policies on every child. Good parents, right? I mean, it's responsible. I mean, honestly, I really give it to people when they're like, when they have any kind of insurance on their family, I'm like, you at least did the responsible thing and bought insurance. It just so happens to be that you were sold the wrong thing by somebody who either didn't know what they were talking about or was simply trying to make a big commission, right? God, I'm hoping not to have to erase that one more time on camera. Jeez. So this is another company. Their color is red. We all know them. Okay. So there's no use in saying, it's kind of like, don't say Beetlejuice 3 times fast. You might appear or something like that, So I don't want to say this out loud. And one of the agents might pop up, might have to punch him in the mouth. So so we got a whole life contract on a baby, $25,000 policy. Now, nothing wrong with the $25,000 in my opinion. There's by the time a 0-year-old is 25 years old, the funeral could honestly in many sectors cost that. It could really get there, right? Baby, total whole life. Where can you find that? Very bottom, whole life insurance. It's not paid up. It's not any of that kind of stuff. It's just a basic whole life, okay? So, $25,000 policy on a baby, 0, right? Newborn. Now I'm going to explain why to just put kids on a child rider is so much more efficient, especially if you're rating Betty with 9 kids. They got a great deal. The cost per thousand. So this family had 4 kids, each with a contract like this separately than the other. Okay, fax machine is going ballistic. So age 0, right? $25,000 death benefit, right? Pretty basic. Nothing really crazy going on here. $17.60 monthly. Now, our child rider is for $25,000 is $15 a month. Okay, but that covers up to 12 kids. Okay, so we added. They were paying like this cost basically on each and every one of the kids. Does that make sense? And there's 4 kids, so even if it was $15, you're paying 15, 30, 45, 60. You see what I'm saying? Plus, it was really close to 70. So you're paying like $70 per month on kids life insurance policies. With us, one price, $15, right? No matter how many kids are. Okay. When those kids turn 25, they're going to be in totally different scenarios than, look, parents need to buy policies for their kids in case they die while they're in their care, right? When those kids become adults, they need to get their own adult program, okay? So we'll look at guaranteed cash values. We'll use this. The 5 sins of a cash value policy, right? Takes 2 to 3 plus years, minimum 2. Usually 3 to 5 a lot of times for money to accumulate in the cash value. In this case, it's the first 4. By the end of the 5th year, there's $36 in there. Really balling. That's awesome. Like, man, we have a guaranteed interest rate. I'm like, where was it the first 5 years when you put nothing in the account, right? Like, there's a guaranteed interest rate of 5%. 5% on nothing. I remember the basic math from school, like 0 times 10 is still 0, right? 0 times 100% is 0. Like, there's no money. Like, you didn't put anything in there. What are you crediting it to, right? So draw the basic. How does a basic whole life work? I think it's really important to understand this from your life class when you're getting a license, right? I don't know if the people who sell this stuff even know how to draw this or how it even works, including the ones who know how it works. I just think their brains are too small or infinitesimal or something. So underdeveloped. It's underdeveloped. You have to have like an underdeveloped brain to like sell whole life. So 4 years. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So 4 years, no cash value. So this represents cash value. What's the death benefit? $25,000 death benefit. Price $17.60. I drew this right with him, right at the kitchen table. Drew this out, and Mom got pissed. It was awesome. She got like really mad. It was great. I love when people really show emotion. So after that, the cash value will start to grow, right, on a trajectory, not necessarily straight up, but easy to illustrate, to 100. Because of a guaranteed rate of return, it's a pretty steady Eddie kind of thing, right? So on year 5, when the child is 5, the cash value is $36.50. Okay, so let's go down to more of a realistic age of when this kid's going to own this for, he's going to own it for a long time, right? So at age 70, here in the year 2078, okay, there still be, what's the death benefit still? 25,000, doesn't change, right? In the year 2078, how much money is 25 grand going to be inflation adjusted? It's going to be like a Charleston chew. Like you can like go pick up a Snickers. Like Like my kid died, I got 25,000. I can go buy a Snicker bar. You know, like it won't be that bad, but you know, these old policies they never adjust for inflation. That's why you need term insurance. You can just buy a crap ton. Like buy too much. Build custom term. Like I do that all the time. Like do a 30-year policy for 300 grand and then do a $500,000 for the next 10 years and reevaluate in 10 years from now. Just buy it, get a ton. It's cheap, and just make sure you have enough while like your kids are like still in the house and stuff. Okay, so 7 years old, cash value, guaranteed cash value. Okay, is $14,930. Okay? So, that represents the line underneath, right? This represents the cash. If you have a $25,000 death benefit, I'll do the exact math, 14,930. What is this number up here? That's the amount of risk or actual death benefit the insurance company has to buy out. The biggest thing to understand about whole life is it's decreasing term insurance. Like, write that down. Like, it's decreasing term insurance. You pay the same premium for a smaller face amount. On day one, if the child died, the face amount was $25,000. But you're buying less and less of their money. So we're like, well, it's not decreasing. Yes, it is. Like, yes, it is. You're buying less of their money the longer you hold it. Therefore, it is decreasing term insurance with a savings element that just fiddles the math. Okay? Yes, I still get a death benefit of 25 grand, but I'm buying less of their money. They're keeping more of mine the longer I own it. Right? At age 100, what will the cash value be? $25,000. It'll be exactly that amount. So what if I died at age 99? It might be like $24,500 in the cash value. The insurance company only paid me $500. I really just got basically a return of my money, like almost like a return of premium. I just got back my cash. Make sense? So, which sometimes it's fun to play that game. $17.60 times how many years? So 12 months is 211 a year times 100 years is $21,120 paid in. So actual long-term premium total cost is $21,120. And a $25,000 death benefit in 100 years from now is going to be worth nothing. I mean, it's like, it'd be like $5,000 at best or something. You know, it's not inflation adjusted almost any money, right? So I draw this for them because it's very important to make them understand, guys, flip this or understand that in the beginning you were buying, your $17 was buying 25 grand. But now, when the kid's 70, it's only buying 10 grand. And at 100, it's buying $500. It's buying you nothing, hardly. It's a decreasing liability on the case of the insurance company, and it's your increasing liability as the longer you hold it, you're putting more and more of your own money at risk. Okay? So, that makes sense? That's a kid's policy. That's how you kill that deal. It's so easy. Like, what is the answer? Put them onto mom and dad, probably have the same crap, which they did. They actually had return of premium and cash value, a whole life piece, and a return of premium, which we just learned that return of premium is what? It's cash value. It's whole life. How does a return of premium work? I didn't draw the thing for it, right? But it's the same equation. Different numbers. Like, draw this out, show you guys how easy this is. Basically, the maturity date ends at the end of the term instead, right? Wow, my wrist is killing me. I can't do that. For those of you guys know, skateboarding. I still skateboard, doing tricks, goofing off. Smashed my wrist. It was awesome. I've been hurting for a month now. So how old was the lady with the return of premium, to jump back to this really quick? 35, right? So if I get a 35-year-old buying a contract, instead of it, what is maturity? It's not 100 anymore like in whole life. What was it? 55. Looks the same. $250,000 death benefit. We had the annual cost of $410. This is annual, okay? How much do I get back at age 55? Cash value, $8,200, okay? There's a chart. First page is death benefit and the term prices for the annual renewable term. If you go another page, there's the return of premium tables. What does that say? Return of premium cash value, right? It actually says cash value on the page, which is the same as the cash value chart in a whole life policy. It's whole life, okay? It's called it something else, right? Like you can take a turd and spray paint it and like polish it, but it's still a turd. You know, like it's like, right? So that's nasty. First 3 years, there is no money in the return of premium. Fourth year, there is $72.50. And it starts to grow up to a maximum of $8,200 over the course of the next 20 years. But if on age, let's say, is a pretty good round number, on the 17th year in, let's just say 15. 15 years, where are they at in age? 50, right? So at 50 years old, the return of premium table on the 15th year is $3,185. Meaning, if they canceled that year, how much money would they get as return of premium? $3,185. They would get money back. Okay? But let's say they didn't, just like in cash value in whole life, if you cancel and surrender, you get back the cash value. But what happens if you die? $3,185. What's 250 grand minus 3,185? Roughly, we got it. 2, 4, 6, 3, 4, right? It's called $247,000. Now, it's not nearly as drastic as whole life, but it's the same ideal. It's the same idea, packaged a little bit differently. But the longer I hold this, it's technically a slightly decreasing face amount. Okay? It's just not as extreme as you see it in like a whole life policy. Okay? Because it is still term insurance, like tables, pricing. It's just that writer's paying for that additional part. Make sense? It's all crap. You're so much better off just buying like straight up insurance. Just buy a policy that doesn't have any trickery. It doesn't sound as fancy. But when you educate people properly, you don't need to make something up to make it sound good. Like just tell people the truth, and the truth will set you free. You know, like it's just kind of true. You know, like the more we try to like facade things, fake things, take this pill, put this girdle on, you know, it works, it will make you skinny. You know, all that bull crap, you're just making stuff up. Like, just be honest. The honest part is you need to stop eating like a horse. You know, like you need to relax. Actually, it'd probably be a good idea. They're vegetarians, you know? But you need to stop eating. It's one of those funny things. Like, you eat like a horse. And I'm like, they eat grass. Like, you know, like, that's kind of weird. Like a pig. That one makes sense. So, the more, though, we're honest about stuff like, hey, you are going to pay a premium for life insurance. And that life insurance benefit will pay off if you die in that period of time. And you are going to invest into real investments recognized by the actual, like, government, like, and self-regulating regulating organizations like FINRA and the SEC and all that stuff. actual regulatory elements too, because they're real investments. Unlike an insurance policy, only regulated at state level. These aren't investments; they're insurance contracts. Okay, you're spray painting and putting potpourri on a turd and trying to call it something. It's not. It's just not. It's crap. Okay, so you need to kind of be able to break down each one of these kinds of things. The more policies you run into, the more confident you get in it, the easier it becomes. It gets so easy to do right at the kitchen table on the spot and just draw the chart. As long as you can draw that, like from memory, oh man, you are like an assassin at killing whole life, return of premium, and all that kind of stuff. So, cool? Makes sense? Cool. Awesome.